creepy TikToks that will make you rethink reality. Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
Of nature at hand, stirring all over the world. They are the young people whom, frankly, we have failed, who are angry, who are organized, who are capable of making a difference. They are a moral army. And the most important thing that we can do for them is to get the hell out of their way.
Yup. God is pouring out His Spirit. The divine is coming back. The dark era is over. The Kettles have likely known this boy since they were babies. No matter how big they have become, they recognize their protector and provider.
Now to a rare announcement from the U.S. Navy. Just one day after a Russian sub showed up in Cuba, the U.S. Southern Command announced that its fast attack submarine, the USS Helena, arrived in Guantanamo Bay. Now, the announcement itself is unusual. The nuclear-powered sub is part of the Navy's so-called silent service, something that's typically kept a secret.
Seems the US doesn't like military installments are closest to landmass, and they wonder why Putin is upset with them.
Too often wear headphones should be careful. For the sake of your health, please finish this video. Watch carefully. When you wear headphones, sound waves travel through the ear canal to the eardrum. The eardrum is a translucent membrane that receives sound waves and causes vibrations. Behind the eardrum are three small bones, the malleus, incus, and stapes. These three bones amplify the vibrations and transmit them to the inner ear. The inner ear is divided into two parts. This one is called the vestibule and is responsible for maintaining balance. The one behind it is called the cochlea. The hair cells in the cochlea release nerve impulses when they're vibrated, and then they travel through the auditory nerve to the auditory center of the brain, and we hear sound. The ear canal is normally moist with secretions that kills bacteria and fungus. When you use headphones for long periods of time, the ear canal dries out. Bacteria can get in and cause infections, and constant use of high volume can cause the hair cells in the cochlea to become overstimulated and enlarged. In mild cases, this can be reversible, but in severe cases, it can lead to permanent cellular damage. As a direct result of this, there is a gradual loss of hearing. Initially, this may appear as temporary hearing loss or tinnitus, but over time, it can become permanent. So how do we avoid this danger? Please remember the 60-60 rule first. Don't listen to music at more than 60% of the maximum volume. Secondly, don't listen to music for more than 60 minutes continuously. Some of you may not be able to meet this requirement due to special circumstances. Then you should always pay attention to the distance between the sound source and the eardrum. When using in-ear headphones, the distance between the sound source and the eardrum is the smallest, which is more damaging to your hearing. So you can choose headphones with ventilation holes is better. The low-frequency signals, where the noise energy is concentrated, can be discharged out of the ear. And try not to use headphones to listen to music in a noisy environment, so you can't help but raise the volume. Especially in the subway itself is a relatively closed environment, will produce a certain pressure on the human ear. In this case, you can switch to noise-canceling headphones to eliminate external noise and reduce the burden on your ears. The ability to hear is very valuable. Everyone must protect it. So please share this video with your friends who love to use headphones so that they can pay attention to it quickly.
Who else is watching this with headphones? I do. But seriously, this is the only time I wear headphones, and it's on the minimum volume. 。 Wow. Sailing Yacht A, the coldest in the game. The world's thinnest mechanical watch, the new 1.70 mm Bulgari Octo Finissimo.
This very strange video is circling the internet. It was supposed to be this very strange phenomena happening in the middle of the ocean. A couple of people inside of a boat captured it on camera. I'm going to show you guys the entire video. Some people are relating this to underwater volcanoes, but I'm not exactly sure if this is the case. I'm going to show you guys the video. You tell me what you think is going on here. Check this out. Pay attention, look at the size of this thing. Look at this over here. What's going on here, guys? What is your take?
It's tectonic plates. Why does nobody really understand that?
This is the heart of Sarasota, Florida, downtown. You can see cars are stranded in many parts in this city as roads are just becoming more and more inundated as this very heavy, very convective tropical rain continues to pour in. It's been a weather whiplash. It's been a very dry winter and spring here for much of the state of Florida, especially here in western Florida. And that has changed completely just within the last few hours. We have this very, very heavy band setting up, and it just continues to dump several inches per hour here. And those rainfall rates are what brings this water up so high. And drivers, they continue to try to push it. They are still coming down Main Street here, only turning around because they see the officer has the road blocked and the intersection blocked off. Did you know that this was coming?
I had no idea, honestly. I booked my dinner reservation and I was like, what the heck is this? Yeah, it was intense.
Did you guys park far away?
We parked over here. The restaurant's over there. We might park further down there just because, you know, I'm soaked a little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
So you're still going to try and make it to your dinner reservation?
We are going to still try to make it.
To be honest, this is normal here in Indonesia. We only have 2 seasons, rain and dry. If this is happen, all the kids from the neighborhood goes outside and play splash or soccer. So much fun.
Garden treat you better if you're dressed nicer? To find this out, I'm wearing a suit.
And I'm dressed casual.
So we both got seated in separate tables, and we're actually going to be ordering the same exact thing. A chicken Alfredo and a water. And we'll each be rating our experience based off 3 things. Speed, taste, and food size. Now the server immediately brought me my water salad and breadsticks, so that's a 10 out of 10 for speed. But Jenny, on the other hand...
Wait, we never got the water. My breadsticks are overcooked. Is theirs like that?
I'm not sure how mine weren't overcooked considering we got the bread at the same time, but that's a point for me. I then got my pasta.
Food came in 18 minutes. So far we got great service.
And they even gave me a refill on my water.
I haven't even gotten my water yet, and they already got their entire meal. He does look like he would tip more, so.
Jenny finally got her water, and a few minutes later, her pasta came. But the real question is, did I get more food than her? My pasta came out to a total weight of 3.77 pounds. And Jenny's pasta ended up weighing 3.28 pounds. So my service was better, and I got more food than her, meaning nice clothes definitely win.
Hey, the biggest criminals in this country is the royal family. They started with heroin. They run for 100 years with the heroin wars.
The opium wars in 1840.
Yeah. That's after they've had all the years of slavery where they've earned hundreds of millions and, the whole thing.
And when the Chinese said, you're poisoning our nation, you're poisoning our people, do you know what the British done? They sent a gunboat, the first steam-driven gunboat it was in those days, right, up the Yangtze River and blew them up. Biggest drug dealers in history, British government.
We've only learned from them.
These ships are designed to withstand it. Perfect physics.
This is Russia's most powerful weapon, capable of destroying the entire United States.
No. At most, you're destroying a few cities.
If this is fired, you will have less than 30 minutes to prepare.
No. This thing is too big to be mounted on an ICBM. See, there's the plane right there. With the bomb exposed like that, it would be picked up on radar and intercepted in no time.
If Russia unleashed just one of these Tsar bombs on Japan, it would obliterate not only Japan, but also both North and South Korea.
Not even remotely close. Just a city or two.
Shockingly, Russia only needs 3 of these giant bombs to make the United States uninhabitable.
So now you're saying 3. Still wrong. You're gonna need thousands.
And just 2 to destroy the entirety of Europe.
Wow. This video is painfully wrong. If you want a more detailed explanation as far as how wrong, please click the link in the pinned comment below.
I'm not arguing with a nuclear engineer.
If you have teeth growing in the roof of your mouth, you might have a condition called hyperdontia. It happens when the special tissue that develops tooth buds is overactive and produces more than normal. Now, this tissue can appear anywhere in the mouth, and in some people, it can congregate and grow teeth in the roof of your mouth. These excess teeth can be surgically removed by an oral surgeon.
What do Japanese prisons serve for meals every day? After watching, it's truly astonishing. Every morning, the selected kitchen duty personnel have to undergo strict inspections by the prison guards, ensuring there's not a speck of impurity even in their fingernail crevices. Once cleared, they begin their cooking tasks for the day. The first dish on today's menu is fried chicken cutlet. To prevent safety issues, the entire surface of the frying pan is covered with a layer of metal mesh. Once fried, the chicken cutlets are conveyed out from the other side by a machine. Despite being a semi-automatic cooking mode, the fried chicken cutlets turn out golden and crispy, rivaling those from high-end restaurants. Next comes the preparation of rice. These rice grains have already been infused with sauce prior to cooking, ensuring they aren't bland even when consumed separately. However, to enhance the rice's texture to the fullest, they also add peas, corn, and carrots into it, stirring evenly before packing them into lunchboxes. Each portion undergoes strict weighing to ensure absolute fairness before being covered and placed into the warming chamber. Moving on to the vegetable preparation phase, washed onions are chopped into small pieces by a machine, while white radishes are manually peeled, sliced in half, and then cut into strips. Throughout this process, the knife must never leave the cutting board, or else it will be met with serious consequences. Afterwards, broccoli is blanched in boiling water briefly, and then removed, while carrots and onions are directly served as a cold dish. Though it may appear somewhat plain, it's certainly not lacking in nutrition. Following this, the plates are arranged on the table one by one, with a piece of chicken cutlet and the corresponding vegetables added to each. With this, today's lunch is complete. Once the prison guards confirm everything is in order, the buttered bread dessert and meals are packed together and ready to be delivered to their destinations. At the command of the guards, they can then begin enjoying their lunch. What do you think of the standard of such meals?
What's the price for a week's stay at this hotel? Do they take reservation? This is wild.
Behold, this is the closest thing to a movie-quality Iron Man suit in reality. The creator, named Alex, has been dubbed the real-life Tony Stark by countless netizens. To craft this suit, he dedicated nearly 6 years. Although he couldn't create an actual ARC reactor, he ingeniously substituted it with a hydrogen reactor. Notably, this is the only personal hydrogen reactor in the world. With the presence of hydrogen, he could utilize plasma jets and hydrogen combustion tests to create repulsors and cutters for the suit's arms. In fact, this part of the research took the longest time. Later, to control the suit's limbs through the reactor, he constructed an exoskeleton from aluminum steel, equipped with electromyography sensors. These sensors detect muscle movement, allowing control of the suit through pneumatic devices powered by high-pressure hydrogen from the reactor. He achieved what Tony Stark did in the films, using a central core driver to control all parts of the suit. The creation of the suit is still underway, and it's believed that a complete version of the Iron Man armor will soon be a reality.
He should have never made this public. Now the government will want the documents of how to make this. If he disappears, we all know why. Don't go anywhere because we still have fire clips after fire clips back to back.
How old do you think this woman is? Like,
the Egyptian.
Egyptian? Why Egyptian?
Egyptian
No. How old do you think she is?
I think تكون 60.
60?
60?
Do you know how old she is?
70.
No. She's 24.
والله.
Wallah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. She's just had so much plastic surgery, she looks like a mess.
مسكينة.
شتي؟
رقبتها بسم الله عليها شوفي رقبتها.
لا والله she's young.
What does miskina mean? That sounded cold. Miskin means poor in Indonesian.
Noticed why vending machines, there's always a Coca-Cola one, and then there is a Pepsi one right beside it.
Yes.
Have you noticed that? So if you go to like a stadium, they usually have one machine for Coke and then another one that is for Pepsi products. But why would they put it right beside each other? Well, if there is a Coke machine, in your head, your thought process changes from, am I going to buy a Coke or not? But when you see the two different brands next to each other, the thought process changes to, which one should I get? So it changes from maybe buying a drink to definitely buying a drink. But which one?
Oh, okay.
Now this is real science. It's like real marketing science. Both companies started profiting way more and increasing the sales the moment competition was right beside it, because it no longer became a choice of am I hungry or not? Am I thirsty or not? It gives you options, which makes you think about getting one. But picking which one more. So next time you're thinking about getting a drink from a vending machine, look to see if there's two different machines next to each other.
This is Elon AI, okay? But the message is kind of makes sense. What do you think?
This video is going viral of a biker next to a wind turbine on a highway because people didn't realize how absolutely enormous wind turbines are. But after seeing this video, no one will ever question their size ever again.
How are you going to turn with that thing?
In the water, all you do is you go down here, splash around, and if your hand's wet, then you know that there's an alligator around. I don't really see any around here today, but I will tell you that I'm convinced that there are some in here. We're gonna keep looking and until we find one, because I know he's here, because the water test never fails. Beautiful. Look at the trees down there. Beautiful day here at the springs.
It's really beautiful, but I have another way. Put your head in the water, and if your head is gone, then you know there's a gator.
One person be at two places at once. But here she is on the witness stand testifying as a victim, and then you turn your head and there she is again sitting next to the attorneys at the defendant table. Most of the people in the courtroom, the judge, the jury, they all have to keep doing double takes, left, right, like they're watching a tennis match. It's like watching a mirrored image. When one on the witness stand would start crying, the other one would instantly start crying at the defense table. It's like they shared the same emotional string. It was really weird. It's like a glitch in the universe. Watching two clones. I mean, there's obviously a very reasonable answer for this. They're identical twins. One is on the stand as a victim, and the other is on the stand as the defendant, on trial for conspiring to murder her identical twin sister. All because she wanted to be her twin. She wanted to be her. This was supposed to be the second day that Sunny is testifying on the stand against her twin sister, Gina Han, for conspiring to murder her. But when she gets on the stand, she's completely disoriented. She's slurring her words. She has no makeup on, which is fine. But the last time she testified, she's like full blazer, full face. This time she's in her nightgown. She looks spaced out, and for some reason she can only talk in this high-pitched whisper. And at times she opens her mouth like she wants to say something, but then she just freezes. And then it takes her a second to slowly close her mouth, and the whole courtroom is staring at her like, what is going on right now? On the stand, she's asked, "You were late this morning, Sunny Han. Can you tell the court why?" "Right, so I told 2 people already what happened. Yesterday I had a big fight with my mom, and then I argued with my boyfriend, and he was just so rude, and then we ended up breaking up again. So what I did was I went to the drugstore and I bought 3 boxes of sleeping pills. Each box contains about 20-something pills." "Why did you take the sleeping pills?" "I was angry, upset, and I wanted to self-exit."
Miss Han, you're still under oath. You were late this morning. Could you tell me why?
Okay. I told 2 people already. What happened was, yesterday I had a big fight with my mom, and then I argued with my boyfriend, and he was so rude, and then we just ended up breaking up again. So what I did was I went to the drugstore and bought 3 boxes of sleeping pills.
Sunny had taken 35 sleeping pills and chugged beer until she blacked out. She was taken straight from the courtroom to the hospital. Even just getting her off the witness podium, it took 3 people to help her down. So if twinning reaction dictates that one twin feels the other's pain, then Gina should feel pain when Sunny is recovering in the ICU during the trial, right? Maybe not. Because this set of twins, they're so different from other twins. Maybe when one is strong and thrives, the other must sacrifice for the other. They cannot both be happy and succeed.
No. When Christmas felt like Christmas. That's the real American dream.
Try to cut it. Never happened. Use a laser cut. Never happened. Okay, now I have to shut up for a minute. If we can do that today, look at the hieroglyphic that being carved on that pyramid. And number 2, it is not even looking at the hieroglyphic. Somebody tried to chop this hieroglyphic, and he managed to do a little bit of it. We can do that today. So, it looks like a pressing machine, burning machine, being added there. If laser can't do it today, so what the hell we use to figure it with that perfection? Look, even polished and glazed, lift rough. The eye of Horus, the lung of Osiris, Ra, duck and a circle, reeds and a honeybee, and then the names of the pharaoh and hieroglyphic. Perfection of the size. Same precision, depth, width, it is mind-blowing.
Not is that too hard to cut, it's the fact that it is so perfectly shaped.
You're on a budget. The cheapest thing you can get is whey protein. Add 50 grams of whey protein per day. It's going to cost you about $1.50. And when you do that, you're like, oh my God, I'm not hungry all the time. Wow, I'm growing muscles. Wow, I got lean. My cravings went away. My brain performance went up. My skin got better. And you have these evil corporations trying to convince you that the cheapest peasant food with the most toxins is somehow the most nutritious, because they realize it's expensive to give you quality food. And if they can convince you crappy food is quality food, they win and you lose. And when you lose, you get sick. And when you get sick, their partners in the pharmaceutical companies are just waiting to help out. So you can opt out of that whole system, and it starts on your plate, and you save money with the stuff that I teach in the Bulletproof Diet or on my blog. It's just not that hard.
This is so confusing. Is whey good or bad? Maybe I don't catch it. English is my third language. Let me know what you think about this.
Talk about the 2024 solar storm. I'm telling you, that's the second sign that the Anunnaki are making a comeback. And the first sign, that solar eclipse. Back in 2019, Yasuyuki Mitsuma and his crew stumbled upon this ancient Babylonian tablet talking about a solar storm where the whole sky turned red and these blue beings started falling from the heavens like raindrops. But here's where it gets real wild. These same dudes go on an expedition to Antarctica. They vanish for 2 whole days whilst exploring Rothschild Island. When they finally turn up, they're clutching these bizarre sun-shaped relics, rambling about 5 freaky sun-related anomalies that signal the return of the blue gods. It ain't over yet. Them tablets also spill about how during this solar storm, humans fled underground for safety. Now, ain't that something? Because around that same era, they're carving out Derin Kuyu underground city over in Turkey. Now, why in the world would Musk, Bezos, and Zuckerberg be building these massive bunkers if they ain't thinking we're all cooked? It's all there, man. You just gotta look.
Them bunkers won't save them.
The world seems upside down, where people are living in the streets hoping that they will survive the winter in the richest country in the world, and where people working full-time for huge profitable corporations still have to get food stamps. And we have billionaires who, while competing for who can get their little rockets a tiny ways into space, or who has the biggest mega yacht, don't think they should pay taxes. While we rain down on children and call it collateral damage or self-defense, it's enough for you to give up on the world.
And we have rich musicians dumping their motorhome waste off a side of a bridge onto people in a boat.
The first foreign language I learned for fun, and not at school, was modern Hebrew. Years later, when I started studying Indonesian, I noticed that some Indonesian words were similar to Hebrew words. For example, Acharon, which means last, resembles Indonesian akhir, which means end. Olam, which means world, resembles Indonesian alam, meaning nature. In other words, the natural world. Korban, which means victim, resembles the Indonesian word for victim, korban. Misken, which means poor, as in poor thing, like you feel sorry for someone, resembles Indonesian miskin, which means poor but in terms of money. Why would there be Hebrew words in Indonesian? Well, they're not actually Hebrew, they're Arabic words, but because Hebrew and Arabic are both Semitic languages, some words are similar. Arabic words were borrowed into the Malay language because of contact with Arab traders and the spread of Islam to the region. Indonesian is an offshoot of the Malay language. Today, both Malay and Indonesian have many Arabic loanwords.
I confirm this 100%.
Good morning, everyone. I wasn't going to do an update today. Markets really are crashing. I've been warning of this the whole time along, and I was early, and some people are right. Sort of the previous 6 months, I was getting it wrong, but I could just see that some of this rally was unfounded and was very cautious. Right now, though, I'm kind of hesitating to say it, but this is starting to look like a massive crash. Not just a correction, but we might have seen a top for 1 to 3 years. I called that in a couple of years ago, and we did see 18 months of downside. I'm calling it again today. There's a lot going wrong in the world, a lot, and markets haven't priced it at all. Markets have tried to ignore what's going on in the world. Now they may begin to price it in. Gold, oil, US dollar higher, stocks down.
It has to crash for the financial reset to quantum financial system. How safe is it there? Stable government or banking?
This is how I know this shit is about to come to an end, y'all. Do you even know what you're looking at right now? This is the rarest animal in the world, stamped. This is called the Creodactys. This just appeared over in the ocean a week ago. And I'm telling y'all, this is not supposed to be out in the open just like this. And remember, I've been telling y'all, I said, yo, something's going on with the ocean. The orcas, the whales, even the dolphins, every sea animal been telling us there's some shit going on. We're not supposed to be looking at this right now, y'all. Y'all think it's a game. Y'all think I've been playing around just bullshitting, right? You can go on Google and look it up yourself. Very rare. And another thing, the ocean is horrifying. That John, dumb scary, yo. Not gonna hold you. The fact that the planet is like 90% water means that our big ass continents is nothing compared to the undersea life. What I kept telling y'all is people under there. Oh my.
I hear people say Antarctica is heating up for new sea creatures to emerge. But let me know how you feel about it. Let this man rest at home in peace already.
Hey, this is false. The light in the mirror appears dimmer than the source of light itself, for several reasons, starting with the fact that no mirror is 100% reflective. But more importantly, the candle in the mirror is always farther away from you than the candle itself. So the light meter will always read less than twice the actual value of the candle itself. I will note that from this work, Terence produces art, sculptural art, which I find to be intriguing, even beautiful. To me, more intriguing than beautiful, because you got to look at it and you keep looking at it, like, what is that? And what's going on there? I just want to read you my ending comments here. I could not follow the reasoning on these last few pages, but the illustrations that derive from them are beautiful, regardless of how they were derived. My notes have been strongly critical of your reasoning and conclusions. I was candid and blunt out of respect for the energy you have clearly invested in this work. But if you're sure that you are still right and that I have completely misunderstood your thesis, then you will need to look for another person to evaluate what you have done and solicit their comments. In any case, like I say above, the images and illustrations in your final pages are beautiful works of art, unlike any I have seen. Best to you, Neil. So, in case people wanted to know what actually went down 8 years ago, just always be cautious of the Dunning-Kruger effect. You put in a little bit of work and you have an idea, and then you think your idea is right and that Einstein is wrong and Newton is wrong and that everybody's wrong and that all of modern astrophysicists are wrong. That's bold. That's bold. Audacious. Bodacious. When continental drift was proposed, it was like, what? Land masses are moving on Earth's surface? That's a weird idea. That's going to be a hard sell. We think there's sort of upswelling of the, yes, locally, but whole continents move, that's crazy. It would take a few decades until ultimately, when we're mapping the bottom of the ocean, we find that there's a mid-Atlantic ridge that the ridges are separating.
If Terence is going to challenge ideas, which he should, he needs to be open to the possibility that he's wrong and accept it.
You owe the bank $5 million, you've got a problem. But when you owe the bank $50 million, they've got a problem.
Oh, wow.
And when you owe the bank $50 million, they tend to call you, Marjorie, and they say to you things like, hey, how would you like to go to lunch this week?
Oh,
now,
wow.
you like going to lunch.
For sure.
But you're smart and you say, hang on a minute, we went to lunch last week and they paid, so now they probably want me to pay. And before you can say anything, they say, it's on us, of course, as usual. The reason why they invite you to lunch when you owe them $50 million is they've just had a new lump of cash come through and they want to see whether you want any of it. Why, Marjorie, do they want to give you even more money, even when you already owe them $50 million, compared with some stranger on the street that they've never met? For one reason, they know that you always do what every month?
You always pay?
You always pay. So whatever it takes, make sure you pay the mortgage.
If you want to learn how to get started in real estate, then I want to give you a copy of my free book, Real Estate Riches, How to Get Rich Using Your Banker's Money. It shows you how to find, analyze, secure, and ultimately manage properties that will give you passive income going forward forever. To secure your free copy, click the link on my bio or on this post, and we will get one to you straight.
Or the bank $1,000, they take you to court. Or them $1 million, they take you to lunch.
So I discovered something called EMDR. Yeah. Which amazing was the most healing. I was so scared to do it.
Okay, now what is that?
They use it for trauma and PTSD. Is there tapping involved? It can be tapping. It can be, I had the paddle.
EMDR is absolutely amazing, and I'm loving it that very famous people like Sandra Bullock are promoting it. People are going through life with anxiety that shouldn't be struggling with it. It's affecting every moment of every day for some people. It's so debilitating. It makes you procrastinate. It makes you low. It makes you sad. It makes you scared. And yet there is a solution. Why isn't it reaching more people? I don't know, it beats me. So I'm a huge fan of EMDR, and I've been researching with it. And you know what? I found a way of making it work even faster, even deeper, even more powerfully than it ever has. Because when you combine it with neuroplasticity, that's doing exercises that stimulate the brain, that put stem cells there, that gets the brain ready for the fundamental rewiring, reset that you would love to have. Do that at the same time as EMDR and you've got the most amazing process. There is huge relief out there for the millions of people who are struggling with high levels of stress, high levels of anxiety, procrastination, and so on. You don't have to go on doing that. Have a look at what is now possible.
Is it expensive? That's the issues with these programs. If covered by insurance, or is it affordable for those with lower income?
Go back, son. What? Go back a little bit, then zoom in so they can see it. All on the Ring camera detection. Now watch this, the next one. What the hell? Pause it on that. Yo.
He lit up the whole street. Look how big this thing is.
Yo.
My sister got cursed in the Philippines. Yeah, in the Philippines, people spread bad energy through touch.
Yeah.
Me and my sister are eating breakfast.
Yeah.
There's a person that comes in. She's not related to us. I see her approaching and I'm already like, oh no.
Just the vibes are off?
The vibe was off. She misses me.
Yeah.
She goes straight for my sister. She goes, you're so pretty. You're so pretty.
Yo, that's where Uso
Yes,
right?
that's
What I call it.
And I see it in front of my eyes. I'm like, Casey, touch her back. And my sister's like, what? I'm like, oh my God, we're cooked. Right? So I'm like, Casey, touch me. Touch me. Just maybe this might work. So it'll go to me. It didn't work, fam. She got so sick. Like, imagine like you're just staying in your bed for like maybe 6 hours. You can't move and shit. My mom calls in one of my aunts. She goes in the room and I'm waiting outside, right? My sister, obviously she looks like dead. She rubs like this like rubbing oil and she goes like this hard on her finger, right? Right after I look, the person that did it, she's over there.
Are you serious?
And I knew it was real because that means it's passed on to her. I go into the room, my sister's jolly, bro, in front of my eyes, bro.
So it went to her.
Yes.
The sickness went to her.
And she threw it all up.
Was she okay after though?
Yeah, obviously she just throws it up.
No, Sister Jolly. No weapons formed against me shall prosper.
Started this conspiracy on TikTok, and he's literally talking because he has a picture of a Tesla that ran right through his living room.
Oh, no.
He's at home, his roommate's at home, and a Tesla ran right through the wall at like 5:06 p.m. He takes a picture of it. He calls the police. He goes outside at 5:07, takes a picture of the Tesla inside his house. I mean, it's completely ruined. And then at 5:10, he takes a picture of a tow truck guy whom he had not called underneath the Tesla. The guy says, whoa, hey, can you like maybe wait for a second? The cops should be here any second. And he's like, nope, can't wait. The guy says, I really think like with insurance and everything, we probably should do a report and stuff. And he says, get the blank out of my way or I'll kill you.
I'll kill you.
He threatens his life, gets to the front, pulls around, and the guy's like, do you not have any empathy? And he says, dude, screw your empathy. And literally just like takes the car and leaves.
Whose Tesla was it?
It was self-driving.
It self-drove into the living room?
I don't know, or the guy left. The conspiracy is that Tesla is paying any Tesla that gets into an accident, paying these tow companies or having reps in cities or whatever that work on those things at a drop of a hat in order to not get bad press, because it's getting worse and worse.
The original video was about tow truck's driver being shady. Whoever hooks it up and tows, he gets paid. It doesn't matter. That's all they want. So they listen to the scanners.
Since Barack and Michelle Obama made that movie, Leave the World Behind, I started to research this man. And I'm starting to think that he could be the Antichrist. When he was running for president, his slogan was, yes, we can. But I found a video of yes, we can reverse, and it means thank you, Satan. It's a lot of spiritual teachers that really believe that Obama is the Pharaoh Akhenaten. And I ain't gonna lie, once I started doing research and looking at this man's face, he looked just like him. Akhenaten was the 10th Egyptian guy. He created a new religion, and this religion was all about worshiping the sun, or the sun disk. The reason why I use the word sun disk, because I want people to understand what's really going on. Ever since they made that sun simulator, this whole planet been different. That's why you hear so many religion people say they are waiting for the return of the sun, but not Jesus, the sun simulator. Once they put this sun simulator back into the sky, this was a message for Akhenaten. All you had to do was look at the photos. It's damn near identical. They always say it's nothing new under the sun. Everything that happened back in Egypt is happening right now. The movie Leave the World Behind, it was a big sign letting you know who these people really are. All of their predictions in that movie is coming true right now. So who told them about this? Did you know that all presidents from the United States is related? They have the same bloodline. I find it real funny when they get on TV and they want to debate each other and bring each other down. They are all one big ass family. The same bloodline that controls this world right now is the same bloodline that existed back in Egypt. Obama is Akhenaten.
They act like they are against each other, but they are all in it together.
Father, Irv Robbins, founded one of the biggest companies in American history, Baskin Robbins. The company grew and grew. We moved to North Hollywood. I worked with my dad and was groomed to succeed him one day and then eventually take over the company. And when I was 21, I decided to walk away from it all, to walk away from Baskin Robbins, $1 billion inheritance, and any trust funds or money. And he got very angry. And we didn't talk for several years after that. And moved with my wife to a little log cabin that we built in the woods where we lived very simply for the next 10 years. I wrote a book. I sent my dad a copy, but we were pretty estranged at the time, and I phoned him. And the first thing I said was, Dad, I've got some good news. And his answer was, what could be good news coming from you? And I said, well, I've published a book. He replied, he would not look at it. My dad continued to eat the way he'd always eaten. By the time my dad was in his 60s, his health was deteriorating pretty badly. He had heart disease, he had diabetes, and the prognosis was that he could be facing the amputation of a foot or even a leg, that he could go blind. And one day, the cardiologist takes my book and hands it to him and said, I think you should read this book. Not knowing that this is his son's book. My dad knew, but he didn't tell him. What happened next took me, my father, and the world by surprise.
Some children simply do not appreciate their parents' sacrifice. Alright folks, I'm going to end our video with this coming clip. Be kind to each other. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And don't forget to like or dislike so I can make better content. Thank you for staying till the end. There's a free gift below if you like. Thank you for watching. Have a prosperous day and God bless.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping.
She knows so long as she is denied, her freedom can never be secured. We'll never forget lying around and him lying around actually.
It is noteworthy that the percentage of women who register to vote and cast a ballot is consistently higher than the percentage of the men who do so. End of quote. Repeat the line.
I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure